filled a whole box with frames. I don't think I need that many, but you never know when you're gonna need them later.
Right.
Those are adorable.
Can do it again.
These are so cute. They're little magnetic book boxes.
You hide them in your bookshelf.
Oh, how cute is that? See, find you a husband who has vintage thrifting upcycle ideas.
Yeah.
Sold.
And the bidding
You are not
starts.
for sale.
Do we have...
Okay, let's go on the other side. I need an NFS sign for you.
No.
Not for sale. So as I mentioned before, several times in our channel since we've moved to Nova Scotia, that I have been missing my estate sales and thrift shops. I haven't really found my little gem area where I can find anything here. And so one of the places that I have found since we've got here is just a very small little barn sale that's about 5 minutes or so down the road from my house. And it just operates in the summertime, just on the weekends. The lady that runs it adds things pretty much every weekend, which is really fun to pop in and just see if there's anything new. But I have a few things on a list. Usually when I'm thrifting, I'm trying to think of and make a pre-made list of things that I'm looking for. You always find things that are not on your list sometimes, but I always find I have a little running list of things I'm looking for. And one of the things I have been searching for that I haven't found at all has been smaller size frames. And when I headed to the barn sale, I was so excited to find that I could pick up a whole bunch of smaller frames. I would say that some of these are only 3x4 or maybe even 5x6. They're not as ornate as I was hoping to find, but it's a start. So I picked up as many as I could find, and they were just 10 and 25 cents. So I got quite a few gold ones, and I even had one that does a little bifold on it, which I think is really cute. And then any of the other frames that were similar size to these, even if they were wood or a plastic material, I picked them up because you never know what you're going to want these frames for. But I have an idea of what I wanted to have: some brass colored, ornate looking, smaller scaled size frames, which I'm going to show you in this video. So here are some of the frames that I found, and I've actually already used 2 of these because what I did was I tried to put my vision into reality by painting some mini landscapes. It's been on my list of things to do, and since I'm recuperating from my surgery, I thought it was the perfect time to kind of dabble with some freehand painting, which I haven't done in a really long time. So I want to show you. I did do one of them off camera because I thought I just need to get my hand moving a little bit. Okay, so it's been a very long time since I have freehand painted anything. And what I want to do now that I have my first little template of my painting is somehow add my horses up here in this little pasture spot. And then I think I'll be done, but I'm just toying around with it right now.
after making a really big mess in the art studio, I have worked on 2 pictures to be able to put into my little mini landscapes, and I think they turned out pretty good for someone who hasn't painted in about 15 years. I don't do really any hand painting anymore, but maybe this will get me right back into it because I think these will be really adorable to hang up. This one with the sunflowers is, I think, my favorite of the 2 because I love sunflowers and I just like how sort of serene it looks. And then this one, I decided to do the apple trees because we have an orchard. And even though it doesn't look like our landscape, either of these are just sort of makeup sceneries that I can put the horses into. So we have London and we have Hudson. I learned doing this that horses are very difficult to paint and I need to do some practice on that, but I think they turned out okay. I think that they kind of just draw you in, and I absolutely love that both of these were only 10 cents for the frames.
Yeah, but I want to show you a few of the other little trinkets that I picked up that were kind of just for fun because, I mean, why not? So I'm always looking for things that I can upcycle, and usually when you head to the thrift store, there's a whole section of wooden items, and I like to look for baskets, little boxes that open, ornate little jewelry boxes, different things that I can transform into something else and give a custom look to that maybe even I can use as a gift. But I found this vintage letterbox, which is just wood. It's actually fine just the way it is. It just needs a cleaning for 50 cents. So I thought this would be so adorable. Do some customization or something on the top. I might even leave it wood and then do a customization instead of painting it, but it's an upcycle project and it already has some little brass hooks on the front, which are for keys. So letters and keys. I thought that was a great thing to pick up for 50 cents. So I have been looking at doing a DIY with grain sack fabric, but I haven't found any grain sack fabric, but I did have an idea on how I could customize some and make some of my own kind of faux grain sack. And so I was looking for a rolling pin. I have a very special rolling pin that I use for all of the baking with the boys because I have Philip's grandmother's rolling pin, and it's just a basic rolling pin and it has red painted knobs on it, and I love it. So I didn't want to use that for the idea I have for a DIY, but I was able to pick this one up for 50 cents, which I always think it's a great idea to pick these up. There are so many different DIYs you can do, and even if you make a welcoming basket for someone who bought a home or a Christmas gift or something, rolling pins are a great thing to put in because they kind of end up being keepsakes in a family. You can paint the handles, you could add detailing on them, but that's not what I'm going to do with mine. I'm going to use this for a painting technique you'll see in a future video. Okay, I am an absolute softie for anything that's a vintage kitchenware, and I've been looking for a little butter dish, and I found one. It just is just one, kind of a glass one. It looks like it has some flowers on the top. This was $1, so I was happy to pick that up. You'll notice these little sunflower book boxes, and I know that a lot of people are making those neat books that you can actually just create out of wood, and they're basically a faux book that you can set up as decor. I thought these were super cute because they have a little hideaway that they have a little magnet, so you could do something to customize them and then put them on a bookshelf, but there's actually storage inside, which I think is kind of neat. So I picked up both of those. These were 75 cents each. I picked up this frame, and it looks like it's made out of sort of a distressed or rustic, maybe even reclaimed wood. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I do have just the option of using something with like a little bit of a square on it, so I thought that was really cute. And like I said, I picked up a ton of other smaller wood frames that are all the same size as those brass ones. They were all anywhere between 10 and 50 cents each, which I thought was a great price. And then I picked up this larger one here that was 50 cents. I can never have too many frames, especially when I'm going to work on some of the ideas that I have coming up forward. I picked up these little terracotta pots. It was 50 cents for the 5 of them, but I love being able to monogram them and customize them. And I like the smaller size, so I picked those up. I like that they already look like they're a little bit worn because I don't like it when the terracotta looks brand new. Back in Ontario, I had a collection of small milk glass little vases that I would put flowers in when the boys would bring me flowers, and I left all of those things in Ontario. As you know, we literally brought nothing here with us but just a few Rubbermaid bins. So I picked up this milk glass vase for 75 cents, and then I didn't want to leave this little lone one behind. It just has some cute little diamondy shapes on the bottom, and I picked this one up for 50 cents. There's a DIY that I was looking at doing online, painting candles, and I do have a bunch of kind of creamy white colored just candlesticks, but I thought these were neat, maybe closer to a fall color, and they were 10 cents for the 3. So I picked these up so that I can play around with painting on the candles with acrylic paint. And I was so excited to find a couple of candle snuffers. They were 50 cents each. I found a black one, and of course, you know, I like the brass one. I've been searching for one of these for a long time, so I'm going to put a really cute little creamy colored velvet ribbon on it and hang it on the shelf close to where I usually light some of my candles. I've always wanted to have one of these, but haven't found the right one, and so this will be perfect. And this one is actually the hook for a second brass one, it looks like, because it has a little threading on the end here. So I don't know what I'm gonna use the hook for, but I didn't want to leave just this lone hook behind. So maybe I will find a DIY that I can use this for, but you can see it's clearly what it is. It's probably another piece to something like one of these candle snuffers, but that I thought would be a great thing to pick up. And then this little thing was just 25 cents. And although it's not probably very vintage, there's no name or anything on the bottom of it, but I thought this would be really cute to repaint and make this look more neutral and then be able to add my own details to it. Thought it could be something even that I could put in a gift. It's just for a candle, and I like the little wooden knob that was on the top. So not something I would normally pick up if I went to the thrift store or something, if it was anything more than like 50 cents. But I thought this was just adorable to be able to do my own little DIY with. When I was a little girl, I used to lock myself in the room and paint for hours. And it was any chance I could possibly get to sneak away and do creative projects like using watercolors, acrylic paints, and Prismacolor pencil crayons. But it has been so long. And since I'm recuperating from my surgery, I thought it was the perfect thing for me to sit and relax and do. And working on this all day yesterday really brought back all of the feeling of what I used to feel like just escaping and creating in my studio space, which was my bedroom at that time. I had a little spot set up in my room where I would just go and create. And so I did do one off camera so that I could kind of just get myself going. And then you can see kind of the vision of what I wanted to do. So my idea was that I could create a bunch of different landscape images, just imaginary, different sceneries, and then include my horses somewhere in those portraits that I was painting. So I want to do like a winter scene, maybe horses in the sunflower scene, apple orchard, at the water's edge, maybe our brook, all different kinds that I can think of, and then incorporate the horses in there somewhere, and then put them as a little collage of picture frames, little gallery wall of these mini portraits on the wall somewhere, maybe even in our bedroom. I'm not sure yet. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. It's been so fun for me and relaxing for me this week while I've been recuperating to work on some other creative projects that mean I can just sit and dabble with some different creative outlets. I love hearing from all of our YouTube family what your creative outlets are, what you like to look for at the thrift store. I want to hear all of the things. I miss you guys so much. Just not being able to do our daily videos and knowing that I need to take the time to rest is so hard for me, but I'm really trying. I know that I'm trying. But it was really nice to be able to work on something that I haven't done for so long, getting back into doing some freehand painting and drawing this week. So let me know what you thought. I'm excited also to be adding a lot more DIY and trash to treasure upcycle projects and furniture flips and things to our channel. I know that you also love our renovations, and so do I, but I love being able to show my creativity and work on some of these other types of creative projects throughout some of the renovation. So thank you so much for always cheering me on. I love you, and I will see you on tomorrow's episode.